that want to focus on that kind of development, and having people live better. But in the same sense, you can fix up the neighborhood, but then the people there also need to be fixed up. Do you know what I mean? That it's the people who make the neighborhood. So it comes down, and then people say, "Oh, it's education. Education's failed those guys and whatever." You can't give me that. It's politics that have failed them, and you have to bring people up to speed, and when you're allowed to live a certain way, you're going to live that way. Some people will fall right through the floor, and then they're going to be down at that level, and then what's acceptable for people in those neighborhoods is definitely not acceptable for anybody anywhere else. But why are the rules different? You know, you have to ask yourself those questions. So we're waiting for Indigo people to come along and fix everything, man. So Indigo people are supposed to come and purge out the old ways of doing things. Moses was an Indigo person. You might want to look at it like that. They want to replace it with the new, better way that benefits people in general, right? So, Indigo people are anti authoritative, right? So, of course, tonight we're talking about Indigo people if you haven't caught on yet because of the glitch that we had on the radio here. But anyway, Indigo people are anti authoritative. Deep down, you are aware that we are equal. So hierarchy seems a bit funny for you. Having to be afraid to do someone else, you know, basically having to be afraid of someone else because they're in a higher position than you, doesn't make any sense, right? If you have a boss and that boss, people who like kiss ass or kowtow to that kind of hierarchy, anybody with money, look at Trump. Do you think that Trump would get any respect from anybody ever, anytime, ever, acting the way he does if he didn't have any money? That's all that is. It's that fear of money. And I say fear, right? He is not an indigo person. I'll just throw that out there. I don't go hate on anybody tonight, but damn, the Dalai Lama. So get back to my Dalai Lama story. So the Dalai Lama comes into Ithaca, right? Big hoopla. There's a big Tibetan community here. Big hoopla. Cornell, Dalai Lama. They're gonna pull out all the cameras, right, for the photo ops. I've got to get a picture of myself in the Dalai Lama. Ooh, look how liberal I am. Ooh, that's what the thing is. It's the facade. It's a fake. It's a fraud. It's a lie. All these people that want to think of themselves in a certain way, and look who they align themselves with. Oh, he's the Dalai Lama. He's the Dalai Lama. Really? Do you know anything about the Dalai Lama? All these people that think they know something. And I'll just say this. Here's a for instance. So he comes to Ithaca, right? And there's this hotel called La Tourelle, really high end hotel, right? Probably one of the, I don't know. In Ithaca, it's probably the highest level, except for one called the Statler, which Cornell owns. But so this guy goes to the La Tourelle, best hotel, not Super 8, right? Not Hampton Inn, not the Hilton, not Marriott. Nope. Best hotel, and rents out the entire floor. Woo. And so we're already talking about millions of dollars. There was $1 million just for the hotel, right? Not including everything else included. And they have a spa, this little like kind of resorty type of feeling, the great restaurant, food and spa and all that, right? All high end. If you're a prince, that's where you're going to stay in Ithaca. If you're a king, that's where you're going to stay in Ithaca. If you're a CEO, a big corporation, that's where you go. Bill Gates, that's where you're going to stay in Ithaca, right? But the Dalai Lama? And so I was talking to one of these people. I was doing a show in Ithaca on TV, on local cable. And it was talk show, like I do. And then, there was other people there. Obviously, I did shows, other producers and whatever. I was talking to one of them who was very liberal, somebody that I knew, was friendly with. And they were kind of on and on about the Dalai Lama. And I'm like, yeah, it's a travesty, isn't it? They're like, what do you mean? I said, well, that $1 million for the hotel rooms and all the money it takes for him to travel around and do the photo ops, you know, he could be giving that to his people. There's people suffering in Tibet because of antics like that. And the amount of money that he spends and what they put into his palace, I mean, like just crazy amount of money, the gold, the power, the glitz, the glamour, his sitting hobnobbing with Hollywood stars. That is not an indigo person. That's as far from indigo as you can get, right? And often they all do the same thing. I don't care if it's the Pope. I don't care if it's the leader of China, Xi Jinping. They all do the same thing. It's about wealth and power. And these people have it all. So I thought it was disgusting what the Dalai Lama, what he portrays. That, then don't say that you're this loving, caring person who wants, there's people suffering and you have to keep them in your heart. Yeah, while you're eating your filet mignon a la Terrell, sure, keep them in your heart. Oh, I'll cry in my chocolate cake for the people who are suffering right now. I'm sad for them, right? Ha, really? Give me a break, man. So that's the core of evil. That's the core of evil. And you find it. Think that guy Olstein, Mr. Preacher in Texas there, when they had the big floods, talk about biblical floods. And what did he do? He ran for high ground and shut the gates, didn't let anybody in. The place was built to hold 10,000 people when there was a disaster or something. It was built for that, you know? This guy makes millions off of these people. These regular old little old people living. Some of them live in trailers. Some of them got nothing. Give that guy $20 because Jesus loves you. Give me $20. Jesus loves you. Give me $20. Give me that money because that's what it's all about. Money, all of it. Follow the money. Oh, here come the floods. Get that armed security at those gates so those crappy people can't come in. Right, Olstein? Oh, he was shamed on TV for it. He's still there. They give him even more money now. He's not an indigo person, right? He's what you call in the Bible those false prophets, you know? False prophets, man. So, all right. So if you're an indigo person, you feel like you don't fit in. The feeling of not fitting in, very common in indigo people. They could feel that they are, you know, something strange in the way of ordinary. If you were to look at yourself against other people and apply yourself, I've done that throughout my life. You just don't feel quite right with that person next to you sometimes. You don't sync. It's like sync. That's a good word for it. You don't sync. You're kind of like old software and you operate at a whole different level, you know? But, and then people could also, throughout your life, put you out there as something strange, right? So, but to an indigo person, material possessions, status, appearance, all that is just another illusion of what's not important, right? This is because deep down, they know what is important their soul growth, the things you experienced, the love that you let into your heart, being able to share that with other people and other creatures, right? People who love their dogs, their cats, their snakes, their ferrets, whatever the hell they have, man. It doesn't matter. We all communicate. Those animals all have the pineal gland, right? We all communicate. We're be in sync. A lot of people are more in sync with their animals than people. What does that say? So, indigo people. will have unusual spiritual experiences, right? Indigo people are usually have strong ties with their spirit guides. For example, they could be having really strong feelings, intuitions, psychic level, clairvoyant, whatever. And empath, of course. These things help them understand, discovering. See, those things are like tools, man. Empath or being an empath, it's like having tools and understanding those feelings and understanding those vibrations, the interpretation, it's communication, right? So, but these things all help indigo people understand, discover, and make their mission in life come true, right? Indigo people are unstoppable. Once you've found your mission, indigo people are brave people. They often don't give a crap about other people's opinions. Yeah, they know society's pressure and illusions, and it won't stop. They won't stop being their authentic selves because of what's going on out there, right? So, society pressures people. Society forms people. There's a reason why your TV's $200, your giant widescreen TV. You know, they want you to see that. They want you to be programmed. It's programming, right? They want you to put you in that box and you have to mold yourself to what's there. And there's nothing there. The crap on TV, there's nothing there. It's just crap. It's noise. It's just noise with ads in between. And those ads are also noise. Look at the ads, how they judge people, put people down. You think that's positive? If you're gonna make a list on, hey, I'm gonna get rid of all this negative stuff in my life. Here's a column of positive. Here's a column of negative. These are the column of positive, the good things I want for myself in this world. The negative, all things I want to get rid of, right? Television fits in the category of negative. Tell me it doesn't. And you can enjoy a movie as long as you get past whatever they're trying to sell you in that movie beyond product placement, you know. But what's better? You know what? When it comes to entertainment, and yeah, we all like to be entertained. We're people. We like, there's a lot of stuff that we can focus on too. There's people who like gaming. A lot of gamers out there like to play games with others. They go online. It's like social in a weird way, virtual social. But that's a big thing. People love to do it. You can't knock people for the things that they love as long as they're basically positive things. You know what I mean? But sitting there watching TV is very antiquated. Cable television, a lot of people getting rid of it. It's just sandwiched with all horrible medicine commercials, meds and just stuff that you don't want, not any one of it. If I'm sitting there trying to chow down on some kind of sub, I don't want to hear about someone's problem with diarrhea in the commercial. I don't want to hear about their skin problems. And they ambush you. At first, you think, okay, they're just going to talk about the skin problem. No, 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 man. They've got to show you up close of what's going on with their mangled skin. I feel bad for them. I have empathy for those people. I feel sorry for them. There's doctors out there and dermatologists that can definitely help them, but I don't need to see it in my house. And I know one thing is that if you have that problem, you're not getting your med information from some stupid commercial. You're not that person saying, wow, I need that drug. Let me talk to my doctor about it. Because the doctor already knows what to prescribe. They're doctors. That's what they get paid for. That's why they make the big bucks. And your pharmacist, they'll tell you all about drugs, right? In fact, the pharmacist knows more about drugs than the doctors do. So, whatever. It's an illusion. All right. You gotta be true to yourself. A good friend of my art just told me that a couple weeks ago. You gotta be true to yourself, man. So, but society puts that pressure, and they like to form little children. They like to grab them at a small age and say, "We're gonna program you." People used to raise their kids. Now kids are programmed. They're programmed by the cell phone, even better than the television. The machine out there, the powers that be, found something better to distract people because humans have an addictive problem in the world, man. Humans are addicts of stuff. I don't care if it's food or heroin or your cell phone. You're an addict of something, and they know that. So they put it right there in your hand. Here's the whole world in your hand, like this song. I got the whole world in my hand. That was what they were thinking of. That was the concept of the smartphone, right? People not thinking of stuff themselves, getting their answers from the smartphone, reacting, talking to it, interacting with it. You know what? Not thinking anymore. The smartphone's thinking for them. You know, this is the world that we're in. So it's just another addictive thing. Now, health wise, we could talk all day about the radiation that comes off of cell phones and how unbelievably detrimental it is for you and the cells in your body, especially your brain, if you keep it close to your head, you know. So, but I didn't care. They didn't care when cell phones came out. Scientists around the world were kicking and screaming, saying there should be radiation stickers on the devices. Right? Come on, man. When your top earning companies in the country are communication companies and oil companies, do you actually think that you're going to get what's good for people? What's healthy for people? You know, do you think that the crap food out there, that the additives, all the chemicals, they put stuff in food that's not even made for human consumption? Margarine? Really? You think that so if you're an indigo person, you want to change all that. You want to be as natural as possible without, you know, going too crazy. Whatever that is. Whatever that is. I think that people make their own way in the world. And you know, the artistic expression, all that stuff gets stomped out in public schools, not encouraged at all. If there are teachers out there that have it in their soul to encourage those young people, God bless them, man. And I know that they're out there. I only had two in my school system, two that that would shine like that and actually look out for their students. Two out of all those teachers, most of them were just there to be there. They even say they got the job because they want summers off, and many of them were women and they were married and their husbands had jobs. And then you know these women just were teachers, and kind of that was their extra job, you know, their side job, because teachers notoriously didn't make a lot of money. They put billions into all this other stuff, things that we don't even need, believe it or not. You know, building bridges to nowhere and that type of stuff. But over the years, when it came to education, they changed out. Why? You know why? Because of television. And they want the TV to program the kids. And it did. They did a good job of it. Do you know the guy who basically invented commercials was a Nazi propaganda, like an expert in Nazi propaganda. He's the one who ran all those propaganda campaigns throughout that time through World War II. You know, then he came back out of the war and needed a job. Guess what? He gets it in advertising, and then starts hiring psychiatrists to develop ads. What could affect people mentally the most? You know, penetrate them, right? Even when it came to cigarettes, he was the guy who sold cigarettes to women, and women didn't smoke cigarettes at that time. So he hired all these starlets, all these famous, you know, Hollywood stars to go out there smoking cigarettes, being seen with a cigarette. It was like, and then all, you know, the people obviously followed right along like sheep, right? Started smoking. That's devious, isn't it? It's evil, isn't it? Doing something like that, selling something to someone that they don't need, that ultimately is going to kill them. Oh, they didn't know that back then. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Just like when Johnson's and Johnson's put, you know, poison in their baby powder, asbestos. It's baby powder. Oh, they knew. It was in court records that they knew that caused cancer. They kept on. They did it anyway. Women, children, babies. They didn't care if it gave them cancer. They didn't care if they suffered. They didn't care if they died. Oh, it'll be a class action lawsuit later on down the road. They'll pay out a couple of million. Their stock will go sky high the next day. That's the way they do business. No one goes to jail. Why is that? You ever ask yourself that question? That someone made a decision at some point to do this. You have the science. You know the stuff causes cancer, but you sell it anyway and don't tell anybody. Wow. The person who made that decision or those people should have gone to jail for murder. Did that ever happen? You ever remember that happened? No, of course not. Of course not. It doesn't happen because the robber barons back in the day are the same as the robber barons now. And that's why the wealth gap is so far, oh, so far from a 55-year high. So you are far, if you're a regular old person, you're that 99.6% of people out there that just is normal old person and living your life and paying your bills. You know, you're not that other percent, right? And that gap is getting bigger and bigger, and these guys are making more and more. It doesn't matter if they're liberal or conservative. You know, Warren Buffett, big liberal, right? He's made billions under Obama, he made billions under Trump. He's still making his money, ridiculous money, right? It doesn't matter. It matters that people suffer, and it matters that we can stop their suffering. We can do it, you know? An indigo person is supposed to be here for that. We need to see more of them. But if you're the indigo person and you're the one with nature and the love and the healing, sitting there by the babbling brook, looking at stuff and that's unto yourself. A true indigo person will fight the war, will get into the trenches with these bastards and fight evil back, right? You fight it back. You don't let the fire burn, you put it out. That's the difference. So, but yeah, society, man. I call it society, actually, man. So, but if you're living your whole life secluded, and I mean, do you really belong to a place? There's that. Now, I lived on Long Island. I was raised down there, and now I live up in the sticks in the middle of nowhere. I like the nature, but there's still people around. I was just out west, and you can go 50, 60 miles, even 100 miles in some places between towns where there's nothing, nobody. And I like, especially like Wyoming and the Badlands, man. Ugh. Badlands is right. It's beautiful. It really is. But you have to go long and far to find people, you know. Around here, everybody's everywhere. It's not overly crowded. There's still nature, there's forests and whatever, but there's still people. You know what I mean? But you can be secluded in a city, can't you? If you're into yourself, if you keep to yourself, you know. So if people who don't feel like they fit in are going to kind of ride the curve like that, and then usually those people find others who are like them, even albeit they're it's sparse and there's only a few, but there are other people like them, right? So if you're an indigo person, you really are made to shake off that old world and introduce a new way of living for other people and share that with people and not be so secluded. But it's easy to be driven into seclusion. It really is. When the world puts that pressure, you feel overwhelmed. And indigo people, you really think that they could rise to the top in this political climate? You see how these cutthroat people are? They'll say anything. They'll do anything. They'll play any game. They'll conspire for murder. They don't care. It's the worst of the worst. But we make the rules. It's we the people, right? And I'm talking about people anywhere, any country, anywhere. We make the rules. It's supposed to be us, not these small groups of people who are like just you're listening to people who are billionaires telling you how to live your life. Look at the whole stimulus. Look what what they just pulled. All of them. what they just pulled and holding people back, you know? And what is that? Just a bone? They throw people a bone? But yeah, people need the bone. So it comes down to right and wrong and also common sense, man. So, what is an indigo child? A lot of people think their kids are the most special things in the world, and you should. You shouldn't tell a kid they're special. That screw them up, man. You know, listen to Kid Rock. Go on HBO and watch his comedy, man. He talks about that. It's very funny. You have to get them ready for the real world, right? But what's an indigo child? People are like my child is so spiritual. It's an old soul. That's cool. I don't know what makes them an old soul. It's a feeling to me. I feel it. If someone's around me who's an old soul, I feel it, man. Sometimes I even feel like I've known them, you know. So, but an indigo child, also referred to as a crystal or star child. An indigo child is a person who has come into this world destined to create change, spiritually awaken humanity, knock out evil, and just everybody be happy, right? Indigo children are considered to be free thinkers with profound insight into the human condition and an ability to see truth and clarity. Right? As spiritually gifted old souls, indigo children find it hard to fit into that mainstream society, like what we just talked about. If you're an indigo person, because it doesn't change, you know, the whole misunderstood, rejected, misdiagnosed, even and medicated. I know people who are psychics and mediums whose family got them medicated and sent them to psychiatrists because of their abilities. They didn't want to admit to themselves that they had some kind of an ability, right? So, but let's talk about truth and deception. Right? The primary role of the indigo child seems to revolve around exposing truth and deception. Like my shows, right? Boom. From a young age, indigo children are able to see through the illusions, half truths, and falsehoods rife in society. Ah, isn't that just nice to hear? Just an affirmation of how you feel in your gut, right? On how you really feel. Because we can see this stuff. If we can see it, everyone can see it. No? Maybe not. Some people don't want to see things that are clouded. Some people are paid not to see things too. So, for an indigo child, to their parents and teachers, they may seem like overly inquisitive, headstrong, and even obnoxious children. Yeah, and they try to prescribe you Ritalin, but your mom doesn't give it to you because she doesn't believe in it. So, as as precocious truth tellers, child and adult indigos can't help but see through the bullcrap facades of other people and expose them. The desire to bring the truth to light seems to be written into the indigo child's DNA, right? So I want to get to, because we had the glitch in the show. I was off the air for a few minutes. And also, let's talk about indigo children who are misdiagnosed. You know, it's a common occurrence for indigo child to be misdiagnosed with behavioral issues such as ADD, ADHD, and other mood disorders because of their headstrong and free-thinking nature. Such children are often feared, misunderstood, and therefore medicated at young ages. But how about this? It scares the machine to have individuals think like that. Individuals, right? That have their own thoughts, that have their own understanding of things, that just don't believe what they're told. The machine hates that. So it wants to stomp it out. So what do? They tell all the people at these schools to look out for these such people and oppress them and keep them down, medicate them, tell them that they're bad. Oh, how many times have you heard that? You're a bad kid. You do bad, you're bad. Ooh, really? That's what they do, man. So, but we're going to talk about the 17 signs of an indigo child. I want to get to this before we're going to end the shoe. So here are 17 signs. All right. We've talked about them, some of them already. You are strong willed. You are a passionate person who will do anything it takes to accomplish your goals and dreams. Even if other people criticize you, don't support you, you keep going no matter what. You're an old soul. You feel as though you've lived many lifetimes and possess a wisdom that others your age don't yet have. As a child, you may have behaved like an old man or an old woman or adult, or you want to hang out with adults, right? You feel comfortable on that level. You have a deeply spiritual and philosophical outlook on life. You're a free thinker. No idea or belief is too holy for you to dissect or reject. You prefer to think of yourself for yourself rather than blindly follow the crowd. As an indigo, questioning is everything to you. Okay, you're a headstrong nonconformist. As a child or teenager, you may have been thought as naughty, obnoxious, disobedient, or contrarian, or just a pain in the ass, class clown, whatever you call it. As an adult, you still cannot stand being boxed in or controlled by others. As a headstrong nonconformist, you prefer to find your own truth and forge your own path. Number five, you're a passionate truth seeker. Truth to you is of primary importance. You are always seeking to distinguish truth and reality from lies and deception. When you are around others, you can immediately tell when someone is lying or hiding something. Although the truth hurts, you honor it above all else. You would prefer to suffer from the truth than be happy telling lies. Number six, you're perceptive and intelligent. You can see and understand things about humanity and life that most other people don't perceive. Your keen perceptions allow you to discover the truth about the human condition and how to ultimately help. Okay, number seven, you're highly intuitive. Your keen perception also makes you highly intuitive. You can often intuit the best course of action as well as know things about others that are secret or hidden. Like indigo people are born knowing. You already know. You already have it inside you. You already know. And Lao Tzu call it unlearning. That's already inside of you, and you have to unlearn what you already know. Number eight, you want to change the world. Deep in your heart, you feel a driving force to create positive change on this planet. As an indigo child, you know that your destiny is to be a paradigm changer or destroyer. This strong sense of purpose forms the axis of your decisions. Whatever is not aligned with your inner sense or purpose quickly dissolves in favor of soul based decisions. Number nine, you're empathetic and compassionate. You care so much about this planet and other people that it often hurts. Every time you see or hear violence, destruction, cruelty, cruelty to animals, you feel sorrow and anger, and you feel the pain deep in your core, and it doesn't go away. I see pictures sometimes that people post them online and you can't unsee things. I think like animal cruelty or something. It stays with me for such a long time and it does damage, you know? Your high level of empathy and compassion means that you often struggle with anxiety and depression. Number 10, you're a change making leader. Since you were little, you've always gravitated towards leadership. You may find it hard to work in teams or for other people and function better when you're in charge or working for yourself. You find it difficult to obey authority, particularly when the authority is corrupt, illogical, or outdated. You want to offer better, wiser, and healthier ways to live life, making you making your destiny as that spiritual elder, right? Being brought out like that. You're born to do it. Number 11, you're idealistic. You have high expectations for yourself and for other people. While idealism can be a positive trait. It can also carry disadvantages, such as being overly critical or demanding. Nonetheless, your idealism is what helps you to strive for the highest and do the absolute best you can for this world and your world around you. Number 12, you have a loner, basically autonomous personality as a free spirit. You don't like to be held down by anyone or anything. You find it hard to be around too many people at once and often prefer to spend time in your own company. As a lover of autonomy, you enjoy solitude and the insight it can bring. Number 13, you're highly creative. Your nonconformist brain loves to express itself through art and creativity, whether it be drawing, dancing, singing, building, painting, writing, crafting, baking, whatever. You love creative, and baking is awesome, man, because you can share that with so many people. Looking at a painting is nice. Eating a cookie, better. You love creative self-expression, right? If you're an indigo. Number 14, you have a strong connection with nature and animals. As an empathic and compassionate person, you gravitate towards the natural world. You feel most at home when you're near the ocean or surrounded by trees and animals, right? Nature is so pure and grounding that you find it a welcome break from the pretension of humanity. Number 15, you're drawn towards spirituality over religion. To you, spirituality is, and this is like most of my friends, I'll say, who describe themselves as spiritual, not religious. So, spirituality, to you, spirituality is falling in love with the message, and religion is basically loving the messenger. As an indigo child, you are drawn towards truth in its purest form. And what God say, if you want to get into the Bible, put no one before me. No one. So if God is nature, God is everything, right? You don't need the church, you don't need the preacher, you don't need the reverend, you don't need any of that. You know what I mean? Maybe some healers. We'll take some healers. Would you describe the Catholic Church as a healing organization or any of them? All right, anyway. rant rant over. So indigo people are not diluted by dogma or fundamentalist teachings. Number 16, you struggle with boredom. Because of your sharpened, inquisitive mind, you tend to struggle with routine and conventional structures. As a result of your tendency to get bored easily, you may have been misdiagnosed with ADD, or ADHD as a child. I'll tell you this, though. I'm going to argue with that one a bit because me personally, if I'm bored or if I'm starting to feel bored, I make myself busy with things, you know? And like earlier when I was talking about entertainment and television, what I get, like there are people on YouTube I like to watch because they're regular old people doing cool stuff. Like there's this guy in this narrow boat and he cruises the canals of England. You know what? It's bubblegum for the brain. Am I going to learn something from it? Not necessarily, but it's nice. It doesn't provoke a negative feeling inside of me. All of television, including the Weather Channel, it didn't used to, now it does, provokes a negative reaction inside of me. They have a show called Fat Guys in the Woods. Really? Fat Guys in the Woods? That's horrible. It's horrible to say. It's a horrible show. Oh, it's so teaching fat people how to survive in the woods. It's exploitation. And they're talking about the Weather Channel. Their whole raison d'etre is to tell you what the weather's going to be. That's some fat guy in the woods. So that's why I can't watch television. And I'll go on YouTube and watch various things on there because it relaxes me and it's nice. Or I watch scientific things about physics or whatever, and I get into it. But then again, I read a lot. So if I'm feeling bored, I read, you know? And I'm not into fiction really, but I like to read about science, physics, stuff like that, especially physics. You can read about physics forever, man. And there's new discoveries every day, you know? Undiscoveries, things that are already there, but we're just finding out a way to discover it. So, all right, number 17. So if you're bored, make yourself busy. You know, even like when I do my photography, right? When I went down to, I was in Scranton not long ago. I went to the train museum. Really cold. It was kind of snowing out. You know, largely it's inside, but it was like a Monday. There was like nobody there at all. You know, and I was able to kind of just be in my own world, get into the trains, my camera, the trains, how I want to capture them, the little tiny details and stuff. You could never be bored in a situation like that. If you are, you're not paying attention to what's going on from that small level all the way up. So anyway, number 17, you are prone to experiencing existential angst. Existential anxiety and depression go far beyond usual anxiety and depression. And this is because it is more like concerned with life itself than the self. As an indigo child, you tend to ask questions such as, why do we suffer? What's the meaning of life? Why is there injustice? Why was I born? A lot of people don't ask those questions, believe it or not. They don't want to know. They don't want to know the answer. They don't ask those questions, right? But such deep philosophical questions cause you to lose interest in the meaningless pursuits carried out by the majority of humans, which is what? What do humans do? Especially here in the United States, especially people of middle income and more, even poor people. People define themselves on items, on wealth, on that status. They define themselves in materialism, not spirituality, right? Although they'll be the same people, be at church, right? Putting collection plate, putting their hands together, praying. They don't even know who they're praying to or why they're praying or what they're even praying for. Mostly, not everybody, but mostly. But if you're spiritual, you know that you don't need a building, you don't need any of that. It's nice to have other friends who are also spiritual and equals that you can talk to, and that's really that's that sense of love, fellowship, humanity, the connection. You know, that's the nice part. But going into a place with people preaching at you and you throw money around, nah, that's not good. So anyway, other potential traits of indigo people, indigo children, also a tendency towards addiction to numb the feelings. I know a lot of mediums who got into problems with alcohol, drugs, because they're trying to shut off what they've got going on. I know other ones who are bodybuilders and work out. Look at Robbie Thomas, man. This guy helps police agencies find dead bodies and stuff, and is an amazing psychic medium. He's out there working out, doing his thing, doing, being great for his community and people around him. You see? So you can go either way, right? You can go either way, I think, It's a choice. The people that do the drug thing, that's more the easier way, And they're trying to self-medicate basically and shut something off that you really can't shut off with drugs, honestly. So indigo people will be seeking only loyal friendships. Ha! There's not much loyalty out there with people. Not much at all. You could be in a 14-year relationship with someone and raise their kids, and then bang, they stab you in the heart one day because they're done with you, right? Because you don't have enough for them. You can't buy them anymore. You don't have enough. You can't rent them out anymore. So they stab you in the heart, put you out in the cold, right? That's people sometimes, man. Not everybody, but that's people. So indigo people, if an indigo person has a close personal friend, that's a powerful friend. That's a powerful thing, right? And I've got friends just like that. So sometimes they can be proud or bossy. There's a problem there. Fiery tempered. Yep. That too. Perhaps more sensitive to the environment and food pollutants, like allergic to things, I mean, like me personally, I can't even walk down like the aisle of the supermarket that has all the soaps and all that crap. Like the not the soaps, but more like the dish detergents, all the heavy duty cleaners, man. Oh my God. It's just nasty. But so spiritual gifts they have, such as clairvoyance and telepathy. And I think these are just these are abilities that you can strengthen, and I think that anybody out there really has some kind of level of sensitivity that they can learn from and strengthen. Right. So Tips for indigo people. Indigo, if you're an indigo and you want to get out there and provoke that change, you do it, man. You stay grounded. You, something gets to you, something bothers you, you go out. Some people, I have friends, psychics, who lay down on the ground in the dirt outside, or just even take your shoes off. It's nice to take your shoes and socks off and walk in the dirt. It's a nice feeling, you know. So stay grounded. Try practicing mindful breathing. Although Lao Tzu said controlling the breathing causes strain, which is against that kind of inner peace, right? So you do it naturally. It's supposed to be natural, you know, in and out naturally, right? Anyway, you practice meditation, although there are breathing exercises that are good for your lungs and circulate your lymph fluid and stuff like that. So practice meditation every day, maybe several times a day. You practice emotional acceptance, understand the people around you, even when they're angry and they levy all that against you, you know? You want to handle that and de-escalate, all right? If you can, it's important to do. Familiarize yourself with a spiritual awakening process and how it's linked to existential depression. Understand the road. You know, the map is not the territory. So you have to understand that road, man, you know? Creatively express yourself and your visionary ideas. You know what? If you feel like painting, paint. You feel like writing, write. Doesn't matter. There's no wrong way of doing it. Whatever your extension is. With me, it's photography mostly. You know, I love capturing those images, and I put a lot of energy in those images. And when people see those images, they say, "Wow, this is how I feel. I feel this and I feel that." And I don't even say anything. I just smile because I know that I'm connecting with them through the art that I created, right? So, and also regularly spend time in nature to unwind and regain. Find your little place. Even in New York City, you'll find nature. You may get mugged if you if you go into nature. And I hear the city's pretty dangerous right now. Pretty dangerous. But finally, if you're really uncertain whether you're an indigo child after all that, then you're not one. You know, this it's that simple. If you're still thinking after all that that you're not indigo, then you're not. If you're thinking that you probably are. So get out there and make a difference, man. Don't just traipse off to your little happy place. But the happy place is important. You know, there's a few happy places I have. I have one called Grissamore Farms, man. I go there. They have apple orchards. They've got pumpkins in season, and you pick strawberries and you pick the blueberries. I don't pick fruit because I'm not one of those workers who pick fruit. I'll pay the premium and get that bite of fruit. You don't save all that much money, by the way, either. That's the thing. I went and picked some apples. It was like $7 for like 7 apples. I'm like, how does that happen? I just picked them off the tree. You know, I go to the store and gave it $3. But it's the experience, man. But it's my happy place because of the energy there, and it's all good energy. Plus, I got cats running around. You got other animals, goats, and whatever. It's just cool to go to a place you've gone to for years, and you're in sync with everything there. There's that word again, being in sync, right? So, but little by little, even if you're struggling, even if you're in the deepest, horrible, most horrible darkness, because some people are, and don't think that I don't know how you feel, right? But little by little, light will come and penetrate that darkness. And when things are that dark, you don't need that much light to illuminate everything around you. So the truth reveals deception. Love will replace hate. Courage will replace fear. And direct experiences will replace the dogma out there that they try to just push you down with. Indigo people are the spiritual leaders, rebels, revolutionaries of this planet. So, thanks to the existence of indigo people, it makes life pretty interesting, man. And more people are waking up and finding the freedom that is already deep, deep inside of you. So how's that? I'm going to end the show after that big glitch, man. I hope you had a good time listening to this. If you're an indigo, go out there and make that difference, man. You know, good deeds, right? That's all God wanted from you, you know. Good deeds. Your creator, whatever you want to call it, want you to be kind and good deeds, and don't give in to the horribleness out there, because there is a horribleness out there that wants all the good stuff inside you. They don't want you to be happy, man. They just want you as a utility. They want you as a simp. They want to control you, and then they want you to be their robot so you can go out and spread their crap message to other people and fight with them, man. So who you get a black eye, you get a broken bone, someone kills you, who's gonna care about you? But the people around you who love you, not these people who are in charge telling you what to do and how to feel. Never let someone's emotions control your own. I'm going to leave it there. Michael Angley, Discovery Paranormal. I will see you guys next week. Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year to everybody out there. 2021 is coming. It will be the year of the ox, the year of the metal ox. Strong, powerful, stubborn is what we need. We need after 2020. We need that love and sense of community. We need that power inside our souls, and we need to share that with other people. We need to share that love and put all this other stuff behind, right? And heal. Not from politics, heal from this virus, heal from everything that's just done to tear us apart, right? Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. I'll see you next year on Discovery Paranormal. Michael Angley, United Public Radio Network, UPRNTalkRadio.com, 107.5 New Orleans, 104.7 Pass Christian, saying yeehaw, y'all.